Hello there. Apologies for no nice greenery around me or bird sounds. It just is what it is. We're not out in nature today. So this is Storytime 2.0. I just wanted to bring through a little bit more data that has come at me in the last few sessions, but pretty much in the last 24 hours. And it's mostly to do with density and waves and light. So I'm going to start the message off with what I feel is a very important message, and you've heard me go on about this before. But this was a very important, direct message that came through to someone today, themselves talking to themselves, like there was a very clear channel. And the message that came through was the distortion or the deception is hiding in the light. And the I guess the expansion of that was that this is affecting everything. Like whether you think we're all in one realm or that we're in multiple realms, I mean, both are true, I guess, because like all the realms are here on top of each other, but that Vedic idea of the lokas, right? Like the worlds, the dimensions, the realms. We can't, and it's not just Vedic, like the Norse and the Africans, and a lot of people have got different cosmologies around that, just with different, they're focused on different numbers, whether it's 9 or 12 or 14. It's not a new concept, and it is just, it's not a truth, it's a metaphor. It's a way of describing how the energy flows in here. There's compartmentalization, a lot of compartmentalization. And the underlying message around that was a trick, that was part of the trap, whether it was embedded right from the very beginning. I feel and it seems that was the case, although it didn't become apparent until later on. Or whether you'd like to follow the storyline that it was implemented later on as some sort of an infection, but it feels to me like it was right back embedded at the start. That this compartmentalization, these multiple layers, were absolutely part of the trap and done very deliberately. And this whole story is a brilliant metaphor for how people are traumatized and put into suffering, and like you build your own trap. Like suffering literally is a trap that you have manufactured the bars for and the lock. Like trauma is one thing and pain, but the suffering that goes along with it, no one can make you suffer. You can make someone be in pain. You can traumatize someone. You can do lots of things. You can't make someone suffer. But if you can get someone to suffer, I mean, which means that no one can impose suffering on you. They can impose the conditions that would make suffering very easy to impose on yourself, but you've still imposed it on yourself. It's a sneaky deception. And it goes right back to what came through very clearly. The deception is in the light, not the shadows, not the darkness. Like it is a light code data stream that has been and was coming in, and the distortion, it was in the light. And then from there it will filter down to the shadows and hide in the shadows and like whatever, but check the light first. And like you go outside and look at the night sky, where's the light coming from? It's coming from the stars. So where are the stars in your life? Hello Hollywood, hello music industry, hello YouTube new ages and gurus and teachers. Who are the stars in your night sky that are transmitting light to you? Data, codes, and where is the distortion and the deception? Because the distortion is my word, but deception was their word, her word, absolutely. The deception is in the light. So, a little bit of intel that came in yesterday from someone who will remain nameless. You know who you are. Thank you, Alex. Was around the waves and the ripples coming in. And it seemed like the potentiality of the metaphor of what we can feel is what's going on in here. Because none of this is real. None of this is true. None of this is... We don't know. I don't know. You don't know. These are metaphors. We're tumbling the Rubik's Cube around, just looking at it, working it out. This is how we do things. This is how you get things done. So the implication was potentially that the waves and the ripples coming through were actually the dimensions or the lokas or the worlds, however you want to view that, collapsing into each other. And as this continues, because it's starting at the top and it's coming down through the densities, and we are pretty much at the bottom, we're at the densest level, the densest world that you can be in, or we certainly straddle one of the densest worlds you could be in, or realms. As it continues to come down, these ripples and these waves will get more dense and more intense as they get closer to us, and the data becomes more and more as it's collapsing into itself. This could account for people feeling lots of headaches in the last little while, muscle joints, pains, almost like you don't fit in your body somehow, because a lot of data getting compressed. And this is not a new theory at all. This has been around for quite some time. The information stream that the only way to sort this out is to compress all the data into one field where we can see it all, and then we can deal with it all. So get ready to see the gods, get ready to see the demons, the angels, the galactics. Get ready for that. It's not like they're walking around already in skin suits with masks and no, there's other stuff going on here that you might be conflating one thing with the other. But get ready to be able to witness in your being all of these things being in all one place at once. This continuous data stream. It won't be a miracle just happened. You'll be able to see exactly what just went on, even if it's not particularly physical. That's what's coming. That is coming, and people are already experiencing that in quite big and profound ways. So that was a message that came in from someone last night, and then in one of today's sessions, we asked that question of two separate beings, one that is not very trustworthy at all, but has access to quite a bit of data, and one which was the highest version of the person in the session. And both of them confirmed that that is indeed what is going on from their points of view. The realms are all being collapsed back into one. And we've been here before, and it hasn't quite worked. Deja vu. What's that movie? It slipped out of my mind. Tom Cruise and Edge of Tomorrow. Repeat, get to the point, repeat, die, go back, do it again. There's been a lot of that going on, but we're pretty close to the pointy end now. And while you never say never, it looks like here we are. So we'll see what happens. And now, while these realms are being collapsed, there was very much what was seen to be like a static white noise light projection, a data stream projection of light and codes that was getting projected from the outside-ish down into all the realms, from the top down, filtering all the way down through them, with the deception embedded in it. It was like test pattern on an old TV, white noise, not fun stuff, just static, and the sort of thing that if you pumped it into a locked room to someone for long enough, they'd go mental. Big surprise, right? It was seen that that was what was getting pumped in. And when that was kind of unplugged and removed, a lot of other things became clear and quiet. And when it was checked to see what potentially should be getting projected into the realms in this moment, in this point, in things, the answer was nothing. Nothing should be getting projected in. It should be quiet, peaceful. So it'll be interesting to see the impact of that rolling forward as these realms potentially seem to be collapsing in down on themselves. And just one more thing that I'll run past you that this person was shown, and it's not a lot of people have had experiences with pods and different things, but she was absolutely shown that there were multiple versions of her in all of these different pods where she was on the outside. And even another version of her that she actually spoke to that wasn't in a pod at all, who greeted her and said, nice to see you again. And the implication was your highest self, the version of you that's outside of these realms, absolutely has the ability to be piloting multiple vehicles, bodies, personalities in multiple realms in the one moment. And so don't discount the idea that you might meet yourself somewhere out there, because it's not actually as complicated as it sounds at all. So I'm not saying this is gospel. I'm not saying this is exactly what's going on. I'm just saying here's a bit of data that came in. There was a lot of distortion and deception getting projected down through the light projectors, through the stars. And whether that has actually been dealt with in your reality or not doesn't matter. It's a thing that's worth looking at for you. It's like, yeah, the shadow work and the and the darkness, and when you turn off the lights, it's scary. And where's the deception hiding in the light? Lean on that door first. And it seems like density is increasing, even while it feels like we're kind of getting a bit lighter and a bit more free. Like, things are going to get busier, because it's a very big potential that the realms are collapsing in on themselves. And I'm not the first person to suggest that by any stretch. Not even in this decade am I the first person to suggest that. But it's kind of hot off the press intel that's come in. So I thought it would be worth sharing. Okay. Much love.